Lonely Christopher writes outside and across forms. His documents include poetry, fiction, dramatic work, and blog posts. He was born and raised in Western New York and has lived in the Bed-Stuy neighborhood of Brooklyn, New York for 6 years. He is the author of the short fiction collection, The Mechanics of Homosexual Intercourse, which was a 2011 selection of Dennis Cooper's Little House on the Bowery imprint of Akashic Books. Publishers Weekly called it provocative and refreshing. With Robert Snyderman and Christopher Sweeney, he wrote the long-form verse collection Into from Seven Circles Press in 2010. His poetry has been collected in the chapbooks Satan from Small Anchor Press, Wow, Where Do You Come From, Upside Down Land from the Corresponding Society, and Poems in June, also from the Corresponding Society. His original plays, including his gay play trilogy, have been produced in New York City and Chengdu, China. In 2008, he worked with playwright Mac Wellman on the production of his play 1965, You, starring Paul Lazar. He recently wrote and directed his first feature film, Mom, for Cavazos Films, featuring Mink Stole from Pink Flamingos, I can't believe that. It's amazing. Jan Hubert from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Paul Lazar from Silence of the Lambs, and Michael Potts from The Wire and the Book of Mormon. He has taught at the CUNY Graduate Center, the New School, California College of the Arts, and University of San Francisco. Ladies and gentlemen, Lonely Christopher.
I'm really pleased to be here. This is actually my first time in the South of this country. But I think it's a good introduction. I'm going to read a story from The Mechanics of Homosexual Intercourse called The Relationship. We have to pray that the road to our town will be built, that they will start the road and that they will complete the entire road. The road to our town is going to be built. It's going to be finished soon. It's kind of unfolding from the far reaches slowly. The road is going to be here soon when it's finished, and then there will be a direct path to our town from everywhere else, and because of that, we are expecting the road to be built, the road that will reach our town from other places that are somewhat distant or very distant, or really anywhere that is unreachable by our well-maintained system of local streets. We are praying for that road to our town to finally be finished because we want that road and we need it. We've been waiting for the road to our town. The road is going to be paved by trustful workers given a good salary, and as they continue to build the road, they come closer to finishing it, and every day they work, the road is longer and it's closer to our town. We have put in all the proper requests for the road. We are expecting the road to be built. We are expecting the road to be finished soon, and we are praying that the road to our town will be built. When the road is built, when it is finished, when it reaches us from far away, when that is accomplished, we will be happy and will rejoice knowing our prayers have been answered because we knew what we had to do. We knew that we had to pray. We have to pray for the road. The road is going to be finished. The road is going to reach us finally, and when the road reaches us. The red lawnmower was old with use. The paint on it was ugly, and the whole thing was covered with black dust from the shed, and the wheels had mud and bits of grass caked on them. The steering wheel was stuck turned left, and the front wheels stuck turned that way too. The dirty front wheels upset the fuzzy green rug on the floor of the shed so that the rug was bunched up in folds under the wheels. Under the worn-out rug was the dirt of the earth. Rotting lumber was stacked up on either side of the old lawnmower in the shed, and placed on one pile of rotting lumber was a pair of thick gloves along with a rusty hammer, but that was it. No sun came into the shed, and so little creatures lived there in the darkness, crawling around and eating each other in the absence of light in the airless, forgotten shed. The old red lawnmower didn't move, and the lumber didn't move, but the insidious life of the little creatures in the darkness teemed ingloriously all around the unmoving and useless things in the shed, and the awful animal writhing didn't stop. The policeman came to the door. He answered the door. "Hello, Grover," said the policeman. "Hello," said the man. "Good afternoon. Please come into my house." His house was small and full of rubbish, and the sunlight looked like faded golden bands in the dirty air. He led the policeman into the house. The policeman looked around as if taking it in, as if he had not come to the house before. "You're not taking proper care of yourself," said the policeman, "and that's a shame." The man stopped and frowned at the policeman and then said, "Do you want some coffee?" And the policeman said, "Yes, all right." And then he led the policeman into the tiny kitchen. "I like my coffee black," said the policeman. The tiny kitchen was dark and crowded with soiled dishes. The man cleared a space on the table and offered the policeman a seat and then sat across from the policeman. The surface of the kitchen table was made up of sticky grime. He stared at the policeman from across the table without saying anything. The policeman looked at all his fingernails and then asked about the coffee. "I'm sorry about the coffee," said the man, and he stood up and walked to the percolator and poured coffee into 2 yellow mugs he found by the sink. "Here," he said, putting the coffee in front of the policeman's face. The policeman took the cup without saying anything, and the man sat back down. The man reached over and pulled a bag of sugar out from under some newspaper on the table, and he poured a lot of sugar into his cup until the cup overflowed. "Don't do that," said the policeman. "I like the coffee to help me concentrate," the man said. "Have I put you in a situation where it is important to be able to concentrate especially hard?" asked the policeman. And he answered. But he frowned and he raised his cup to his mouth as if to drink from it. "Did you not hear what I just said?" asked the policeman. "I heard all that you said," the man said. "What was it that I just said then?" asked the policeman. "You asked me if I need to concentrate because of what you've done," the man said. The policeman hit the table hard with one sudden fist. "That is not what I said. That is not all what I said. Only a retard with no brains would take what I actually said and misrepresent my words so stupidly. Are you a retard, Grover? I know you're simple. I know you're just a simple man. You've never opened a book in your adult life. You can't do anything right. You're unskilled. You think the road is actually coming. Don't you think the road is actually coming? I know you think the road is actually coming, and you're dull. You're a nobody, and you're a disgrace with nothing to offer. But are you that much of an absolute retard, Grover? That much of a 100% retard to have actually misunderstood what I just said in such a blockheaded way? Get a cup of coffee away from your mouth, you imbecile! This is why I had to take your wife away. You think these things happen for no reason? Do you think that I'm unfair or that I mean? You don't get it, retard. You don't get anything right now. One simple thing. I try to be nice, but I ask you one question and you can't even do it. Grover, you idiot, you can't even repeat a simple sentence that even a newborn baby could repeat well enough, and that depletes all my patience. Oh, you are gross. You are sick. Your brain is full of disease. I want to drain your body of blood. I want to crack your skull open and piss on your retarded little brain. You don't get it, Grover. I am the hand that takes. I am the hand that takes, retard. I am the hand that takes from you, said the policeman, rising up. The lake had to have a bottom, but it had no bottom. The lake behind the house had to end somewhere, but it didn't. The lake had been said to have edges because there was that muddy shore, but it wasn't something that kept the same shape. It was something that kept expanding. The lake was definable, but then it wasn't. The lake did not have a bottom to it. The gloomy fabric of the lake was endless. The shiny surface of the lake was a mirror that revealed nothing about the quality of the lake. The muddy shore of the lake was a barrier between the known world apart from the lake and the yawning flux of the lake itself. The lake was absorbing all the meaning around it. When the lake grew, it pulled the meaning of what was around it into its blackness and its depth. When the lake took the meaning into itself, it was impossible to tell what happened because there was no seeing deep enough into the lake. There was no way to read the lake. The lake would reflect questions about it without judgment, as if the questions didn't mean anything, and that would raise more questions, but the lake continued to reflect without judgment. The lake had various smells. The lake sounded differently on different days. The muddy shore of the lake was soft. The temperature of the lake was constant but indescribable. The lake was never stormy. The lake ate the weather. The lake was either an invitation or a warning. The lake was either intelligent or it had no intelligence at all. The lake had to be a problem, but it wasn't. The lake was a birthday party. The lake was a deliberate gesture. The lake was technology. The lake was an animal. The lake that was behind the house. The lake Do you believe in heaven?